CDB, if we could maybe just cue some music here. I want to go over these collapses that just one gets worse than the next in Bills land. And we can have happy music here. It's okay. But I was thinking about just how the levels of hell would go if you were a Bills fan and you were walking through this kind of timeline of ridiculous losses and painful ends to your seasons. I mean, of course, what happened on Sunday has got to be in there. But let's start with the idea that Dante's Inferno has 9 circles of hell, okay? These 9 circles of hell. You go through these concentric circles until you get to the epicenter, which is the worst flaming part of hell, okay? So the early parts are not as bad. So like the first circle of hell for a Bills fan would be, and this is according to Dante's Inferno, limbo. And this would be the playoff game a couple of years ago against the Texans. They finally snapped that 17-year playoff drought 2 years before, but they have a 16-0 lead in that game and a leaky defense, questionable decisions by Josh Allen. They end up losing 19-16 in overtime to the Texans. And this is kind of limbo because the Bills are back, but it's still early. Early in Josh Allen's career, early in this rebuild and reboot. So it's painful. You have blown a 16-0 lead, but you don't know if you're supposed to be really that upset. The second circle is lust. And we go back a ways now, 40 years, 1980. The Bills had been bad. They finally got good again. And they win the AFC East out of nowhere in 1980. And they go to San Diego to play the San Diego Superchargers with Dan Fouts. And they lead this game throughout. They have a 14-3 halftime lead. And they lead this game late, 14-13. But Fouts and the Chargers have a 3rd and 1 from midfield with 2 minutes to play. And Fouts hits a 50-yard touchdown strike at the 2-minute warning, and the Bills lose. They had a field goal chance that went awry. They had an interception to seal the game that they dropped. Who did Fouts hit? Kellen Winslow, John Jefferson. Oh, no. A guy by the name of Ron Smith, who had caught 4 passes all year. Okay, so that's lust. You wanted more than that. You got greedy. The third circle is gluttony. And that would be last year at Arrowhead Stadium. Okay, because last year certainly felt like there was more meat on the bone. But you've already gotten to an AFC Championship game, and Sean McDermott wants to run the football. Meantime, Patrick Mahomes, you can't answer Mahomes' strikes with running the football. And the gluttony of running dooms McDermott and the Bills as they can't slow down the Chiefs, and they lose 38-26, something like that. But it was a bunch of garbage time points of the second half. They trailed 38-15 at one point. The fourth circle is greed, and this is nicknamed the blowout. The 92 playoffs for the Bills. They looked like it was going to be a quick exit. They had gone to the Super Bowl twice in a row, won the AFC. But Jim Kelly was injured at the end of the season. Frank Reich comes into the wild card game. They trail 35-3 in the wild card of the Oilers, and it's going to be like, okay, you know what? We didn't need a deep run this year. Enough is enough. 2 years in the Super Bowl. We don't even have Jim Kelly. Frank Reich engineers the comeback. They then go on the road to the number 1 seeded Pittsburgh Steelers and knock off the Steelers at Three Rivers. Then the AFC Championship game on the road as well against the Dolphins. They beat Dan Marino. They want more. Now this is their year. They get into the Super Bowl and get absolutely waxed in one of the biggest playoff blowouts ever, 52-17 to the Dallas Cowboys. Greed. You wanted more, you didn't get it. Fifth circle is anger. This is the second Super Bowl. This is when the Bills were uber confident going up against Washington. They had been there the year before, had come close against the Giants. And now Thurman Thomas comes out of the tunnel, loses his helmet. Thurman loses his helmet. Suddenly, one of the best backs of the NFL is out for the first 2 plays of the Super Bowl, and nobody knows why. Marv Leeney's yelling at the equipment manager. Thurman doesn't know what's going on. He's frantic. In the game, calls don't go the Bills' way. Washington starts piling up points. Andre Reed famously jumps up and slams his helmet to the turf. Anger. The second consecutive Super Bowl loss. The 6th circle is heresy. The Music City Miracle. Remember, Doug Flutie had led that entire season. He'd won 10 games that year. But late in the season, week 17, they decide, you know what? Why don't we give Rob Johnson the start here? And they start Rob Johnson in the playoff game. They actually lead 16-15 with just 16 seconds to play. Frank Wycheck, Kevin Dyson, touchdown. Bills fans will always say, that's blasphemy because that is a forward lateral. The officials call it legal, and that's your 6th circle of hell. Your 7th circle, violence, 13 seconds. Squib kick, pooch kick, anything. Stop playing so soft. Anything. Knock that pass down. Tackle Travis Kelce. Stop Tyreek Hill. Nothing. Which causes Bills fans this week to break many, many things. Violence. The 8th circle is fraud, which is the last Super Bowl, 93, when they actually led at halftime and they gave Bills fans hope. And then the Cowboys ran right by them in the second half. They trailed 13-10 at halftime, end up winning 30-13. Emmitt Smith rumbles all over the Bills, giving Bills fans false hope. Fraud. And finally, the 9th circle of hell, treachery, which is wide right. The Super Bowl where they are big favorites against the Giants, coming off a 44-point effort in the divisional round against Miami, a 51-point effort against the Los Angeles Raiders in the AFC Championship game. And Kelly and Reed and Lofton and Thurman shut down, just 19 points. Scott Norwood lining up. This is where Bills fans should be relieved of their pain. 47-yard field goal. Wide right. Treachery. Your 9 circles of hell for Bills fans.